Tensions in the eastern Mediterranean are rising after a ballistic missile fired from Iran entered Turkish airspace. Turkey's defense ministry says the missile was intercepted by NATO air and missile defense systems before it could cause damage. According to Ankara, the ballistic munition was neutralized after it crossed into Turkish airspace. Fragments from the intercepted missile fell in open territory near the southern city of Gaziantep. Officials say there were no injuries or damage reported. The incident marks the second time in just 5 days that a missile fired from Iran has been intercepted over Turkey. Last week, NATO air defenses also shot down a ballistic missile heading toward Turkish territory. Following that interception, Ankara warned Tehran against launching further missiles toward the country. Amid rising regional tensions, Turkey is also strengthening its military presence in the eastern Mediterranean. The Defense Ministry says 6 F-16 fighter jets and air defense systems have now been deployed to northern Cyprus. The move is aimed at reinforcing security for the Turkish community in the self-declared Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. Ankara says the deployment is part of phased planning to boost the territory's defense capabilities. Officials say additional measures could be taken depending on how the security situation evolves across the region. This comes as Iran has now officially named Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the late leader, as the country's new supreme leader. The leadership transition comes amid a rapidly escalating war that began after US and Israeli strikes killed the elder Khamenei. Hardline factions within Iran are now tightening their grip on power. With missile interceptions, military deployments, and escalating tensions across the Middle East, the eastern Mediterranean is rapidly becoming another flashpoint in the widening regional conflict.
In a stunning escalation of the widening Middle East conflict, the United States has ordered the first mandatory evacuation of embassy personnel in Saudi Arabia since the war began. The decision came after a series of Iranian strikes across the region, attacks that are now reaching some of Washington's most sensitive diplomatic and intelligence facilities. According to the United States Department of State, non-essential American embassy staff and their families have been ordered to leave Saudi Arabia immediately due to rising security threats. For weeks, U.S. officials had only allowed voluntary departures. Now, the situation has changed. Washington is pulling personnel out, a sign that the threat level has reached a new and alarming stage. The evacuation comes as Iran intensifies retaliation following joint military strikes by the United States and Israel against Iranian targets. Those attacks triggered a chain reaction across the region, and now Iran appears to be expanding its response. According to emerging reports, Iranian drones and missiles have begun targeting sites connected to the United States and its allies across the Gulf. In the Saudi capital of Riyadh, explosions were reported near the U.S. embassy complex. Officials say drones struck the diplomatic complex, causing structural damage and forcing personnel to shelter in place. Two sources familiar with the incident told reporters that one of the drones may have struck facilities connected to the Central Intelligence Agency station housed inside the embassy complex. If confirmed, it would represent a major symbolic strike, targeting not just a diplomatic facility, but one of the United States' key intelligence hubs in the region. According to internal alerts cited in reports, the impact partially collapsed sections of the embassy roof and filled parts of the compound with smoke. Emergency procedures were immediately activated. Staff were ordered into secure areas as the compound assessed the damage. Neither Washington nor Saudi Arabia has publicly confirmed the full extent of the strike, but the decision to evacuate non-essential personnel suggests officials are preparing for further attacks. The strike in Saudi Arabia is only part of a wider campaign. Similar drone attacks have reportedly hit American diplomatic facilities in Kuwait in the United Arab Emirates. Iran appears to be widening its response across the Gulf, targeting countries that host major U.S. military installations. These nations form the backbone of America's strategic presence in the Middle East, and now they are being drawn directly into the conflict. The Gulf region hosts some of the most important American bases outside the United States. For example, Al Udeid Air Base serves as the largest U.S. military installation in the Middle East. Meanwhile, Bahrain hosts the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet. Together, these facilities coordinate American military operations across the region. But as Iranian strikes increase, those bases and the diplomatic missions surrounding them may now face growing danger. Saudi authorities have also confirmed casualties from recent attacks. Officials said that a projectile landed in the province of Al-Kharj, killing 2 people and injuring at least 12 others. While details remain limited, the incident has intensified fears that the conflict could spread further across the kingdom. For years, Saudi Arabia has been a critical U.S. partner in the Middle East. The country hosts American personnel, military equipment, and intelligence operations. Now, it is increasingly being pulled into the expanding confrontation between the United States and Iran. The current crisis erupted after large-scale U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iranian targets last month. Tehran has vowed to respond with what it calls forceful retaliation against American and Israeli interests across the region. Since then, a wave of missile launches, drone strikes, and military confrontations has unfolded across multiple fronts. From the skies above Israel to U.S. installations in the Gulf, the conflict is rapidly expanding. U.S. President Donald Trump has warned that the confrontation could last for weeks. Military analysts say the evacuation order signals Washington is preparing for the possibility of sustained attacks on its diplomatic and military network. Removing non-essential staff reduces the risk of civilian casualties if further strikes occur, but it also sends a powerful signal. When embassies begin evacuating personnel, it often means officials believe the situation could deteriorate quickly. For now, American diplomats, intelligence officers, and military planners are closely monitoring the situation. But the latest developments suggest the conflict may be entering one of its most dangerous phases yet. Iran appears willing to strike deeper into the network of American allies and facilities across the Middle East, and the United States is now taking defensive steps to protect its personnel. The evacuation of embassy staff in Saudi Arabia marks a dramatic moment in the unfolding crisis. It shows how rapidly the battlefield is expanding and how fragile the region's security landscape has become. As drones, missiles, and retaliatory strikes continue across the Gulf, the world is watching closely, because the next move in this escalating conflict could determine whether the crisis remains contained or erupts into a far larger regional war.